Hello and welcome to the Michael Krug podcast show. Today I'm going to talk a bit about my exercise routine, how I've maintained my routine for just about 13 years now, and I'm going to share 5 tips on how you can develop a sustainable fitness routine. So this question that I'm answering actually came from a member of my community, a former client of mine, Nayara. She asked, could you talk about how you maintain your exercise routine? What are the tips and tricks we could learn from your experiments? I think this is a great question. Now, again, there's a lot of variance in how we can develop health habits. And a lot of times within this podcast, on my YouTube, I like to share what I've done because it'll give you some insight on how you can start to implement it for yourself. So when it comes to fitness, honestly, the only thing harder than working out itself is sticking to it long term, right? We're all busy. We all have, different things going on, whether it's our career, if we have activities, family, kids, traveling, things that go on. So there's a lot of friction to be able to have a consistent and regular exercise routine. And with that, there are a lot of strategies that you can use to be able to make fitness become a part of your everyday life and to get all of the benefits from fitness, which we'll talk about benefits a little bit later in this podcast episode. But I do want to share with you things that I've done. So 5 main tips and things that have helped me, again, sustain a regular workout routine for about 13 years. And I will say in that time, even with traveling, several trips that were a month or longer in duration, I've been able to exercise pretty much every week. I believe the longest time I've gone without working out has been about 9 days. And this is, again, it's a testament to how I've been able to transform my health, to lose 160 pounds, to sustain it long term, to continue to get leaner over time and get healthier over time. And again, I hope that what I share in this video is able to help you. So let's jump in. The first strategy that I have for you when it comes to developing a consistent long-term fitness routine is to prioritize your workouts. Okay, so again, like I said, all of us are busy. We've all got things going on. And a lot of times when things come up, whether it's work meetings, if it's, your kids' sporting events, if it's family holidays, whatever it may be, a lot of times it's really easy to put fitness on the back burner and to prioritize other things. And what I'm telling you and the way that I'm able to maintain my fitness routine is that I prioritize fitness. So when I have exercises or when I have workouts scheduled into my calendar, I prioritize those just the same I would for having a call with a client. I prioritize those just the same I would as attending a networking event. I prioritize those just the same that I do for family holiday events and things like that. So getting strategic with your calendar, putting workouts into your calendar in a way that you can actually adhere to them and execute on them when the time comes is a very important strategy and something that's going to help you. Building off of that, I'm going to ask you a question. This is a thought question. It's rhetorical, obviously, because you can't answer me directly here. But, what would it look like if you took your workouts just as serious as you did work meetings or family events? Okay, how would your life be different if you scheduled workouts and you adhered to that schedule? And what if you started saying no to other things so that you could say yes to your fitness? And the reality is that working out is hands down one of the absolute best things that we can do for our health and our well-being. Dr. Influencer Mark Hyman has said that if we could figure out how to get the benefits of exercise into a pill, everyone would be taking that pill. And again, I'm not super into taking pills, but I think the benefits speak for themselves when we talk about increased strength, increased energy, increased longevity, increased health span, increased muscle mass, increased bone density. When we talk about the mental health benefits, so exercise is shown to decrease the symptoms of mental health. It improves your cognition. It helps you be more productive and more efficient, whether you're working or with whatever you're doing. There are so many benefits. It seems crazy to not prioritize fitness for your life. So all of these things being related to fitness, it's really important to, again, just prioritize it in your schedule. And then when it comes to the amount of fitness, so how much should we be doing fitness? I'm a huge fan of doing some form of exercise every day. Now, I don't mean lifting weights every day, but at least 30 minutes per day. And that could be anything from walking, hiking, yoga, lifting weights, kayaking, paddleboarding, anything that gets you moving. It could even be pickleball or other sorts of activities that you do with other people. We want to aim for at least 30 minutes per day. And then on top of that, so I should say alongside that, we want at least 3 of those workouts that we do per week to be resistance training. So that means that we're lifting lifting weights. It could be using dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells. It could be using machines. It could be high intensity interval training. It could be body weight workouts and calisthenics. You could even throw in like sprinting in there because you get similar benefits from sprinting as you do to lifting weights when it comes to a muscle growth and strength perspective. But we want to be doing at least 3 of those types of workouts per week. And then again, we could get into the weeds. Maybe I can make another video about types of exercise and how often to be doing those. I actually have a framework for it. I call it the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 framework. I'll have to make a separate video about that. But ultimately, it comes down to moving our body every day, having it in our calendar, in our schedule. And then when it comes up, we adhere to it, and then being able to do at least 3 resistance training activities per week. So with that, again, ultimately, that which we don't prioritize is not going to happen. So again, scheduling, committing to workouts is hands down one of the best things that you can do if your goal is to develop a sustainable fitness routine. Point number 2, have a plan. Now, if you're already at the point where you're able to prioritize workouts, you may be someone who, you get to the gym, you're not really sure what to do. Maybe you do the chest press machine a couple times, maybe do the lat pull down machine a couple times, do a couple squats, and then you're spending, 30 minutes on the elliptical. And I'm not saying that's bad, but it's not really the most efficient use of your time when it comes to exercise. So having some sort of plan, something to follow along with when it comes to exercise is an absolute game changer because it's going to help you be accountable to yourself and to help you achieve whatever your goals are, whether it's fat loss, muscle gain, if it's both, if it's increased longevity. Having some sort of plan to follow is going to be super, super important. Now, for me personally, because I've been doing this for 13 years, I have a general idea when I go to the gym of what muscle groups I want to hit, and I'll actually make the workout up as I'm doing my warm-up. I wouldn't recommend that for a beginner. Again, I keep track of everything that I do fitness-wise in a spreadsheet. I look back and reflect on what I've done in the previous weeks or month, and I know what my goals are and what I'm working towards. A lot of times in the late winter, early spring, I'll be focusing more on golf. In the summer, I'll be focusing more on conditioning and stamina. And then in the fall and winter, I'll go more into like a strength cycle. So again, it changes for me over time. And for a lot of people, it will change over time. But what I'm trying to say here is that you have to have some sort of plan, something to go off of, especially if you're a beginner, so you don't get stuck just doing the same thing over and over. Like I know a lot of people, a lot of guys who will do like, okay, Monday is chest day, Tuesday is back day, Wednesday is abs, Thursday shoulders, Friday's arms. They completely neglect legs. They do the same exact movements for weeks or months or even years over and over, and they wonder why they're not seeing results. It's because they're giving themselves the same exact stimuli every week. They're not changing things up. They're not pushing themselves. They don't have a well thought out plan that's strategically helping them, build the physique and the composition that they want, and they're really just going through the motions. So when you have a plan, it's going to force you outside of your comfort zone. It's going to force you to dig deep and try things that are different, and it's ultimately going to help you get the most out of your workouts. So with that, again, if you're doing the same thing over and over, you can't expect to get different results, right? It's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, it's just not going to happen, especially when it comes to working out. So building off of this, if you are interested, if you want some workout program ideas, I do have my Inspired Wellbeing community. It's a school group, and within that community, I have 3 separate workout programs, I should say, 3 different workout programs in that community. One is completely body weight at home, one is just using a pair of dumbbells, and then the other one is total gym. So if you want access, you can see the link in the show notes and check it out and join. I'd love to see you inside there. So the second point here is to have a plan. Point number 3 is to make fitness fun. Now, at the end of the day, as human beings, we're going to do things that are aligned with our values. And oftentimes the things that are aligned with our values are the things that bring us joy and the things that we find fun. So what is fun is definitely subjective. It depends on the individual. It depends on personal preference, and it can be different for every single person. So like for me, the things that I find fun from a fitness perspective are lifting weights. I love golfing. I almost exclusively walk when I play golf. The only time I take a cart is if I do a scramble. I love to hike, and then I love to play broom ball, boot hockey, and hockey in the winter. So I've got like 4 main things that I do that keep me moving, that keep me busy all year round from a fitness perspective. And I also have fun activities that I train for, right? So I do specific training to help with my golf swing. I do specific training to help with stamina when it comes to playing hockey. And then obviously when it comes to fitness, I do have different goals when it comes to different lifts and amount of weight I'm trying to do, or crazy workouts I'm trying to do in X amount of time. I keep track of these things. I keep goals and I set goals and I keep track of my goals to be able to try and make progress over time. But all the things that I do, for the most part, I enjoy. Now, I will say I don't always enjoy working out and lifting weights. Like, it's not always fun getting underneath 315 pounds on a squat rack, or it's not always fun doing, single leg split squats, or it's not even fun doing pull-ups, but I get a lot of joy out of doing it because I always reflect on how I feel afterwards, which is actually a different point we'll get to in a little bit. But being able to have specific activities, things that we find fun, that we can commit to over time, that's a very great way to be able to prioritize fitness long term. So again, the third point here is to just make fitness fun, right? And if you don't know what you like, for example, if you've never played pickleball, you don't know if you like it or not. If you've never gone hiking in the woods, you don't know if you like it or not. So just be willing to experiment with, try different things, see what you enjoy, and then find ways to, again, schedule those into your week and have a plan around when you're going to do them. And that's how you make fitness fun, as well as prioritizing it and having it be a part of your plan. Point number 4 is to build in accountability. And I'm going to start with a quote. Bob Proctor said, "Accountability is the glue that binds commitment to results." And I wholeheartedly believe in that. Having some form of accountability, especially when it comes to fitness, is an absolute game changer to be able to commit to it long term. Now, there's a point for a lot of people where you can get to being your own accountability partner. So I'm definitely at a point in my journey where I hold myself accountable. I know what my goals are. I know what I want to achieve. And it's easy for me to commit to my workout routine because I see the benefits and I know how it impacts my performance in the different activities that I do, how it impacts my performance with productivity and efficiency with work, and how it impacts my energy so that I can show up fully when I'm hanging out with people. Now, that being said, a lot of times at the beginning, we need some external accountability. So accountability from an outside source. And there's a lot of places you can get this. So you can find a workout partner, a workout buddy. It could be a friend. It could be someone you meet at the gym. You could have a trainer. It's a great form of accountability. Not only are you going to have accountability from them, but they're also going to give you hopefully pretty intense, good workouts that are going to help you achieve your goals. It could be your partner or your spouse. A lot of times within a relationship dynamic, both parties want to improve their health. So holding each other accountable, whether you're doing morning workouts together, evening workouts together, weekend workouts, becoming those weekend warriors, your partner or spouse could definitely be an accountability person. You could also have a health coach. So someone like me, I'm a board certified health coach. A big part of my job is holding my clients accountable to the plans that they have for themselves. And then also as a personal trainer, I provide them structure and support when it comes to having an actual workout program to follow. Another one, I already mentioned it, but within my online community, there's a lot of people in there who are focusing on fitness. So if you need some external accountability as well as motivation, there's a lot of people posting what they're doing on a week-to-week basis, their wins, their challenges, their successes, their failures, everything that's going on within their journeys. It's a great place to be able to connect with others and again, get accountability in a group and community setting. So again, the fourth point here is having some form of accountability, especially if you're getting started, is going to be an absolute game changer to be able to build the habit. And then over time, it will become more of you holding yourself accountable to your health and fitness habits and what you're doing from a long-term perspective. So again, number 4 is accountability. And then number 5 is to focus on the gains, right? And I don't necessarily just mean like bigger biceps or whatever it may be, like lifting more weight, although that is part of it. But ultimately, like I mentioned earlier, when you're practicing fitness, you're going to get so many positive benefits from it. Some other things I didn't even mention. So you're going to boost your immunity by doing this. You're going to be extra motivated and have energy to do the things that you want to do in day-to-day life, as well as all the other benefits I mentioned of fat loss, muscle gain, body recomposition, increased lifespan, increased health span, better mental health, alleviating those mental health symptoms. And there's tons and tons more, right? Of all the things that we can do as a human being, it is well studied, not just anecdotally from my own experience, even though I can say that it's true, but also the evidence shows that working out and fitness is the best thing that you can do for your health and well-being, right? I'm trying to stress this point that some sort of fitness, some is always going to be greater than none. And just being able to commit to something fitness-wise is going to help you a ton when it comes to your overall health and well-being. I also want to share too that for me, like 13 years into regularly going to the gym, to lifting weights and doing all the activities that I do, there are still days and even weeks or even months where every workout for me is a challenge. Like I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like lifting weights. I don't feel like, putting in the cardio work and doing those things. But I am so fine-tuned and fixated on the benefits that I get from it that once I get there and I get moving for about 5 minutes, a lot of that evaporates and I'm just in the flow. And I can tell you from someone who's been working out for 13 years consistently, I have never had a single workout or movement session where afterwards I was like, you know what? Like, I regret doing that. Like, I wish I wouldn't have worked out today. Like, that never happens. You always feel better. You always know that the benefits that you get are going to be there, and you're going to have that sense of accomplishment afterwards as well. I will also say, when it comes to the gains perspective, getting those changes physically, if you're starting on your journey, I do recommend taking a progress picture like once a week or maybe every other week, because when you start to see those changes in yourself in the mirror, it can become like self-motivating and remotivate you to commit to the process long term. And honestly, another benefit that I didn't even mention of exercise is that it makes you look good naked. Who doesn't want that? So again, the fifth point here is focusing on the gain of the workout, not just the aesthetic piece, but all the other benefits that you're going to get from having a regular fitness routine. Those are my 5 points. Again, I hope that these tips help you start, or if you've already started, to maintain your lifelong fitness habits. Again, it's one of the absolute best things that we can do for health, longevity, for our energy levels, for mental health, for physical health, emotional health. All of it's interconnected. And the more we're able to commit to our fitness long term, the better off we're going to be. And remember this too, when you are operating at your highest frequency or at the best version of yourself, ultimately you're going to have more of an impact on the world. I wholeheartedly believe that, as a society, health-wise, we're maybe not doing the best, and it's an internal act first, right? So the more that we are accountable to ourselves, the more that we take action when it comes to our health and fitness, that's how we change society. It's really an inside-out phenomenon. When I focus on myself, it's one of the most selfless things I can do is to be fit and active on a healthy individual. That's going to have a ripple effect that ultimately helps the rest of society become healthier over time. So one more reminder too, if you are serious about creating sustainable health habits, if you're serious about creating a fitness routine, learning about nutrition, mindset, all of these different aspects of health that are important, you can check out my Inspired Wellbeing community. The link is in the show notes, and I think you'd really love it, and I'd love to see you in there. So that's what I have. And one more thing too, if you have any ideas on topics that you would like to see me touch on when it comes to health, fitness, nutrition, whatever it may be, leave them in the comment section here. I'm always looking for new ideas. I've got quite a list of different topics and videos that I plan on making, and if there's something that you want to see specifically, I'm happy to do that. So drop a comment, let me know, join the community, and as always, keep inspiring.